Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. When I was preparing myself for the battle with life and I was gathering as much knowledge as I could by reading as much as I could, and there was a time in my life when I had that opportunity to do it. I read a lot of books about what other people's advice would be for life in various circumstances. Like for instance, I would get Napoleon Bonaparte and I say, okay, a book like this, I still have it right now, who says Napoleon said, and whatever intelligent quotes he might have, or another philosopher, and then you're gonna have it break it on different chapters, like advice for, let's say, love, advice for, I don't know, enemies, advice for friends, advice, and you have that philosopher's quotes. So one of these quotes that I will use here, because I'm going to use it to explain Putin's strategy in this war, new strategy, is I read somewhere that an intelligent person should be able to make a complex idea, put it in very simple words. So let's say you want to explain the theory of relativity, okay, Albert Einstein, and you want to explain that. If you try to explain it in a very, very technical way, you're going to lose everybody else. So you have to dumb it down in such a way that tells the reader or the audience that you understand the principle. If you can give examples, or use all kind of analogies, that will the viewer will understand that this guy has a grasp of the concept. So we have Putin. He was asked in one of press conferences that he had, I think today, when will he end the war, the military operation, however you want to call it. And Putin gives a very easy and clear example, or he just provides a scenario. And this is what he says. Putin assures he wants to end the war as soon as possible. But, and this is what he says, the chicken pecks 1 grain at a time. You say, what a stupid analogy. You know what I mean? But that tells you exactly what you need to know about the Russian strategy in this war. And there's another thing that he says. He says that he would like to do this with the least effort, with least losses possible. So one at a time with the least losses. Exactly what I said. I'm not Emil the genius. No, but I've been saying this before from my observation what the Russians are doing. Slowly, methodically, with the least losses, not to rock the boat back in Russia proper. That's why they just had the first 150,000, when they invaded, and then they got what, 82 now, or 182,000. I'm not sure how many they got, with mobilization. The mobilization that they have for about 300,000, and they got, I think, 182 or something, and 80 are already on the front. So that tells you this little thing: chicken pecks 1 grain at a time. How they are going to proceed? Not like, hey, let's go, and you do, hey, hoorah, let's attack, because that would mean a lot of casualties, or more casualties that they would like to see. Not that they would like to see any, but they try to minimize that. So let's see. This article comes from Ukrainska Pravda from December 22nd, 2022. Putin assures he wants to end war as soon as possible, but, and I'm quoting, chicken pecks 1 grain at a time. Vladimir Putin, the president of the Russian Federation, assured that Russia allegedly wants to end the war in Ukraine as soon as possible, but wants to avoid great losses. So great losses, and take your time, one by one. That's going to be I want to, but I don't want to have losses. And I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. basically. Source, Putin during a press conference on Thursday, December 22nd. And I'm quoting, "Our goal is not to spin this flywheel of a military conflict, but on the contrary, to end this war. We strive for this and will strive." End quote. And I'm quoting again, "We will strive to finish it, and the sooner the better, of course." Details. Putin also stated that the intensification of hostilities leads to great losses. Logical. And he says, "The chicken pecks one grain at a time." He illustrated his words, like probably he did like puck, 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 puck. I know if he, but you know what I mean, right? So he says here, worth noting that Putin openly called his war against Ukraine a war and not a special military operation. Yeah, that's another thing, but that changed. You know when that changed? When they decided to retreat and leave those areas in the north. And I said, okay, reevaluate. And he said, okay, let's mobilize, partial mobilization. That changed. Then the Russians really said, okay, we're not going to fight only with this finger, the Ukrainians, because we don't fight against Ukraine only. We fight against, what, about 13 other nations, NATO and others. So we're going to employ another finger, this one. So we're going to employ this one and this one. And this one is going to go in their ass, and this one is going to go in their nose. That's how we're going to fight, basically. So now it turns from a special military operation that was supposed to be, you know, on the zone, on a local. Now we're going to have a different story. Because why? Those guys seem to have brought too much weapons, and they're too involved in organizing the Ukrainians with intelligence, with probably controlling the military and so on. So he said that's not a special military operation. This is a so-called proxy war, but it's not a proxy war anymore. It's just the term is still there, but in reality, I think on the territory it's not a proxy war whatsoever. I think it's face-to-face NATO troops with Russian troops. Maybe the NATO troops are not the first in line, maybe behind the Ukrainians, you know. But too many people say that, and they're not idiots. Say that definitely there are troops, there are American troops over there, you know, operating the HIMARS. Now they're going to operate the Patriot systems that they say, no, the Ukrainians will operate it. Okay, all right, no problem. If there's a Ukrainian operating, or if it's the Americans operating, they're going to blow them up in the same way. But hey, they're invisible like the HIMARS. So, you know what I mean? Buy one, get one free, basically. So yeah, one thing at a time. They retreated, put the people again, rearranged the army, brought more equipment, arms, and they want to start. One, okay, now we take care of this, and after we take care of that, we're going to go on here, and after this, we're going to take care of that, and then after that, we're going to take care of that. Not everything, and in the meantime, we keep them busy with our bombardments. And we'll see when the Ukrainians are going to be run out of people to fight, and then the Western countries will do what? Western, United States, I mean, because they say we're gonna, as long as it takes. Well, they're gonna be decimated. I know those guys don't care, but others care. But anyway, it's a crime. It's more than a crime, I would say. It's a tragedy. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.